Hello everyone and good evening and welcome to tonight's Collegiate Marvel Rivals matchup between the Post-University Eagles and Capital Tech University. How is everyone doing this evening? This is your Shoutcaster, DeadlyDrew. How's everyone doing this March 4th on this Wednesday? Hope everyone out there is doing excellent. Here we go. Tonight the Eagles are looking to make a splash in the ECAC. It is ECAC Week 5 here, and the Eagles are 1-3 in the ECAC right now, and Capital Tech is 3-0. 3-0 on the season so far with one forfeit win, but they are 3-0 on the season nonetheless. And here's a quick little stat for you. Capital Tech has not dropped a single map yet. So it is going to be a tough one for the Eagles tonight for them to sink their claws into this match and get into it. It's going to be a best of 5 per usual, and we are going to start with our lineups. So here we go. Looking forward to this matchup. Eagles definitely looking to make an impact in the ECAC Week 5 this week tonight. So here we go. For the Eagles starting lineup, they are missing a few of their main starters tonight, so that is something to look out for. Some new players in the lineup will be making their debut. So, starting for the Post-University Eagles is player number 1, Frosty.wrld, player number 2, Rekonic, player number 3, Makel, player number 4, Wildfire, player number 5, Ssjlion, player number 6, Blue_Arrow, and that is it. And this will be Blue Arrow's first start tonight, so he is definitely going to be looking to make an impact for the Eagles, so good luck to him. And the starting lineup now for Capital Tech University, we have player number 1, DJ Raven, player number 2, N Reigns, player number 3, Worst Gens, player number 4, Celestia, player number 5, Suka, and player, excuse me if you're Russian, but that's how it's spelled, player number 6, Rajan Plays, player number 8, Kaviko, player number 9, JJ Hooligan, and player number 10, OC99. A lot of players. They have a deep lineup on the Chargers, the Capital Tech University Chargers. 3-0 on the season, have not dropped a map yet, and the Eagles have a new player looking to make a big splash in tonight's ECAC Week 5 matchup. Looking forward to getting into this best of 5 coming up very soon. Your Shoutcaster here, DeadlyDrew, will be into the match very shortly, so get ready for map number 1. Collegiate Marvel Rivals action coming up very soon. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the stream here, brought to you by the Post University Esports sister channel. I am your Shoutcaster, DeadlyDrew. How's everyone doing this evening? Are we ready for some collegiate Marvel rivals? I hope so, because here we go. It's the Post University Eagles versus Capital Tech University. Here we go with our map number 1 here in this best of 5, starting on Hall of Djala Convergence. And we are starting out with our bans here. We have, starting out with Post University, going for the Protect on the Moon Knight. They seem to be liking that often lately, as I have casted their games recently. And the ban on the Gambit. We have Capital Tech banning the Elsa Bloodstone and protecting the Loki. So no new character being played in this first map, at least, in this best of 5. ECAC Week 5. And we have Post University going for the Venom ban, followed by the ban on Daredevil for Capital Tech. And we'll see what's coming up next here as everyone hovers their heroes, but will they stay on them is the question. Post University going for the Doctor Strange Protect. So obviously THELimboSteppr is going to commit to the Doctor Strange, it seems. And we have the group being protected by Capital Tech University. And then we'll follow it up with our last bands here. And we will begin this convergence match here. Best of 5, ECAC Week 5. Capital Tech is undefeated at the moment and has not dropped a single map yet. Post University 1-3 on the ECAC season, looking to improve that record tonight. And the last bans for Capital Tech is the Black Panther, and Post University going for the Magneto ban. And here we go, everyone locking in and getting ready to start this best of 5. Here we go, ECAC Week 5, your Shoutcaster DeadlyDrew here, welcoming you in if you have just joined us. Here we go. Alrighty, let's see what everyone is pulling out of the bag here early. Capital Tech going for the Deadpool, Mantis, Groot, Invisible Woman. We have the Rogue, as well as the Penny Parker. Very interesting skin on that Penny Parker. Is that like a snow? It's a snowman skin. Yeah, that's cool. Must have been during the Christmas time. Oh, and now to the Rocket Raccoon. Ah, doing the Penny lineup there. I wonder if the mines stay though if you switch. I don't think they do. I think they despawn the minute you swap. But here we go. Post University on the Strange Invisible Woman. Rekonic on the Moon Knight. Blue Arrow making his debut tonight for the Eagles on the Hulk. Love to see it. Good luck to the Eagles and him. Good luck, have fun, everyone. Here we go. Ssjlion on the Squirrel Girl. Burn 2 on the Cloak and Dagger. Here we go with some convergence. THELimboSteppr on Doctor Strange taking a lot of damage early. Gonna have to back up. Blocked by the Groot Wall and stunned at the same time. THELimboSteppr taking a lot of damage, staying in that Cloak and Dagger healing bubble there. Onto JJ Hooligan for Capital Tech, getting a pick here, starting us off here on the group, getting aggressive against the Eagles. Capital Tech already has good positioning on this point. Frosty.wrld in trouble there, getting picked off again. 2 picks in a row for Capital Tech. Moon haunts you. Big Moon Knight ult there by Rekonic, finding 1. In a good position to deal some big damage as everyone is grouped up. In comes the Deadpool ult. JJ Hooligan has ult in hand as well. Gets 1. Finds burn 2 on the Cloak and Dagger. Able to escape that as burn 2. Nice job to weave out of that. As the Invisible Woman ult comes out from Capital Tech here to sustain. In comes the Doctor Strange ult. Gets a lot on the stun there. Backed up by the Loki heals for a second for Capital Tech here. Blue Arrow has to find some value here on the Hulk. Can't just be a walking meat shield. Has got to get in and start getting some big damage off on the back line as he looks to right now. Mantis ult comes in. Rekonic ult in hand here, but not able to get back to point in time as this looks to be Capital Tech's first capture. Post University had a valiant defense there. As Capital Tech will take the capture here with 4 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock to go. Here we go. ECAC Week 5 Map 1. Capital Tech with their first capture, and the Eagles now will have to hold. 4 minutes and 5 on the clock. In comes the Rogue ult from Ssjlion from Capital Tech here. Post University has a couple of ults in the bank right now. Out comes the Moon Knight ult. Finding 1 is Rekonic. Burn 2 dropping the Cloak and Dagger ult, sustaining her team. Rekonic finding another pick on the Moon Knight. Nice job by Rekonic. Groot ult coming in from Ssjlion. Not much value being found at the moment as both teams just going back and forth, poking very closely as Blue Arrow in deep right now on the Hulk, has to get out. Nice job getting out there, has ult in hand, or should I say in fist. LimboSteppr jumping in for an ult on the Doctor Strange. Not able to find a ton, just manages to get a Loki clone. Ssjlion supports with the Rocket ult. Rocket Raccoon in the back line. We have a healer fight amongst us in the back line here. Both healers, both Invisible Woman's going at it for a second. Ssjlion doing a good job putting up those Groot walls. Blocking damage right now as the Cloak and Dagger ult comes in again from Burn 2. A lot of healer ults being used right now. Teams finding picks back and forth, but the team fight goes on and on and on here. Here comes a Groot ult to try to knock Post University out of their nest here, but the Post University Eagles not giving up that nest so easily as Blue Arrow finds a pick. Welcome to the Collegiate Marvel Rivals scene, Blue Arrow on the Hulk, but gets put to sleep by the Mantis. Post University holding strong right now, able to bleed off a lot of time from Capital Tech's clock here. Nice revive from Ssjlion. Gets Doctor Strange right back into the fight. Big plays from Ssjlion on the Rocket Raccoon right now. Able to find some picks there and get the revive on the Doctor Strange. Post University players getting critically low as the Invisible Woman ult comes out from Cypher, who copied the Invisible Woman as the Loki and used the Invisible Woman ult to keep the team going, and that he will do just that, as with 2 minutes and 54 seconds on the clock, Capital Tech now is 2/3 of the way there. Post University, no ults in the bank at the moment. Out comes the Penny Parker and the Deadpool for Post University. Team fight getting pushed forward here as Capital Tech getting aggressive, finding some picks too with the aggression of the Rogue and the Deadpool. And Rogue just absolutely going in on Rekonic on the Moon Knight there. Ult coming out too. Celestia is not done yet. This push continues right now. A lot of damage coming out. Post University needing to regroup and find some big value from their ults. And then Rekonic must have heard me because that's a big Moon Knight ult, but it is suppressed immediately by Cavico on the Invisible Woman ult. Nice read there. And from that read comes a lot of picks for Capital University's way. And Vehicle now getting close to the third capture point here with 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock. Nice walls there from Jay the Hooligan on the Groot, keeping Post University locked in their spawn, and Post now has to come out and are funneled one by one, and that will do it. Capital Tech, a very good push with a minute and 21 seconds on the clock. And a clean 3-0 cap there with 1 minute and 21 in the bank. And now it is time for Post University to grab that capture time or make it better. And we will see here now that we have the protects and bans coming into play. It seems like the Groot is going to be a big problem for Post University here, as he has been getting very aggressive and leading the way. Those walls can get super annoying in the middle of those team fights as well. Blocking line of sight from healers and just making it truly a pain to try to walk around and find your way around into the team fight. And even those half split seconds of just walking around or having to damage the Groot walls instead of using that damage or healing on your teammates or opponents is extremely effective when you know how to place good Groot walls and make them make it quick as well. So here we go. Post University now on the push. Let's see what they bring in here. We have the Bucky coming out. And the Deadpool as well. Invisible Woman. And here we go. Ah, we have as well Rekonic on the Star-Lord. Gonna go for that right-hand flank right away. Try to get that high ground advantage. Get some early shots off on Capital Tech here. But already being dealt with is Rekonic by Ssjlion. Great read. Knowing that someone would eventually push that top side to try to get a high ground advantage. But Ssjlion for Capital Tech shuts that down immediately. Post University down 1. Does not matter. They are walking onto point here. Very steadily. Looking to try to find an opening here. Capital not giving them one. And those are those annoying Groot walls again. Blocking that LOS for even a split second. Gotta be careful of them. It makes it a lot harder to play positioning correctly, especially on this choke point push-in. Down goes the Deadpool for Post University, and they are getting pushed back slowly but surely here. They might have to go for a regroup as they are losing 1 by 1 in this team fight. Starting to bleed time off the clock is Capital Tech. Ssjlion placing those nice Groot walls. Really making this choke point hard to get through. In comes the Bucky ult from the THELimboSteppr. But Cavico nullifies it with the Invisible Woman ult. Out comes the Groot ult from Ssjlion, which stops the Bucky in his tracks. Frosty.wrld on the Emma Frost is also eliminated. And now in this team fight, Post University finds one. Burn 2 manages to find one. But it does not look like Post University is going to come out on top of this team fight. Gonna have to regroup as Blue Arrow still in the middle of this team fight, trying to find picks, and does find one onto the Loki. Post University may be able to regroup quickly here. Only down 1 player, and try to repush this at a 5v5 really quickly. I think that's what LimboSteppr's trying to do, but unfortunately these Groot walls yet again are buying time for Capital Tech here. Frosty.wrld getting put down and revived instantly by Ssjlion. Nice revive there, Rocket Raccoon. Rekonic now popping all on the Star-Lord, but has to deal with all these annoying Groot walls. Can't even get the damage off at the moment. In comes the Deadpool ult from Wolf2K here. Finding 1. Finding 2 is the is the Capital Tech University healers. And that will do it for that push, as now it is 60 seconds left, and Post University not able to even find a tick yet. Finding no gaps so far in Capital Tech's defense here. Gonna have to find a pick soon. Something's gotta gain value here for the Post, and in goes Rekonic trying to find something desperately, but nothing coming up yet, as Frosty.wrld leading the way for the Eagles onto point. And here we go, Post University getting a little bit of positioning, but in comes the Invisible Woman ult to deny it. And the Groot ult. Good combination of ults there from Capital Tech. Post University taking a lot of damage right now. A lot of players critical. Blue Arrow can't get around the corner. 10 seconds on the clock. Post University going to have to touch point, and it just doesn't look possible at the moment as everyone getting wiped up. And Capital Tech will make this a clean 3-0 map 1 in this ECAC Week 5 matchup. The Eagles going to have to find a way to step around these Groot walls and also find a way to get through Capital Tech, as their defense is looking solid. And it was Ssjlion on the road doing an excellent job. Getting very aggressive. Good combination with the Groot. 2 extremely aggressive tanks. As long as you don't overextend. Very well played together there. Good tandem. So Ssjlion with the MVP here. Post University, Burn 2 with the SVP on the Cloak and Dagger. Doing what they could. Post University, though, coming up short on Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda Hall of Djala Convergence. Here are your stats for Game 1. And we will be back here with map number 2 very shortly. ECAC Week 5 Collegiate Marvel Rivals Post University versus Polytech University. And it is on Spider Island's Map 2 Best of 5. Here we go, your Shoutcaster DeadlyDrew here, welcoming you back and into this matchup. Polytech University taking a very dominant and very dominant 1-0 lead here on Hall of Djala. Now we are on to Spider Island's convoy here. Both teams going for their protects and bans here, as we normally do in this phase. Post University vying for the Gambit ban off the bat here. They're going to have to find a way to deal with that Groot, though. I am surprised they did not go for the Groot ban right off the bat. And we have Capital Tech University going for the Elsa Bloodstone ban and the Loki Protect, as well. Post University protecting that Moon Knight. Post University does like to ban usually their standard bans. They have a standard ban setup. And there we go, the group ban. Post University going for that oh so important group ban. At least I think here as the caster. What do I know, right? But I do think that group ban is semi-important, as they did have a problem with him last map, and he was one of the more annoying heroes to deal with. They go for the Strange Protect, and the Capital Tech University going for that Rogue. The Rogue was the duo in that tandem, which led to Capital Tech's dominant victory last map, map number 1. So they do keep the Rogue. And we will see what the last two bans are. And then off we go to this convoy map. Spider Islands, of course. The Punisher ban is for Capital Tech, and Post University vies to go for, I'm guessing, if I had to guess right now, Post University, yeah, the Venom. I was gonna say the Adam Warlock, actually. But that was my guess pick. Alright, so here we go. Map number 2, ECAC, Collegiate Marvel Rivals, Post University Eagles versus the Capital Tech University Chargers. And here we go on Spider Island's convoy. Capital Tech up 1-0 in this map score. And we will see if the Eagles can change that. Eagles coming out with, is that the Wanda here? Interesting. Means Eagles are looking to get aggressive here early. Rekonic on the Moon Knight. They are always protecting that Moon Knight, as that is Rekonic's bread and butter. Ssjlion on the thing. I thought it was the Venom. I thought it was Venom for a second, but then they banned the Venom. So maybe they're trying to throw him off here. At least with the visual tactics. Post University as well. We have TXT. And TXT, excuse me, is now a sub-in for Blue as well. So it's good to see Blue step in for the Eagles, but they are going to sub in now TXT on the Loki here. And out we go, as Jay the Hooligan now no longer on the Groot. Nice job by Jay the Hooligan there, going in for a dive. Wolf on the Deadpool manages to find the first pick of the match on THELimboSteppr there. Finding some value early on the Deadpool. 3 tanks as well for the Chargers here, as they are charging out the gate at the moment. Eagles having to back up here, as Cavico finding a few with the Invisible Woman. Again, the effect of Capital Tech's healers as well, getting into the fight, getting aggressive, and hitting their shots as well. It is damage, and it is hard to avoid when you're in the middle of that team fight. So if you're able to keep the healing up and able to do some damage, it does help a lot in these team fights. Out comes the Moon Knight ult from Rekonic. Does not find much value here. As down goes Rekonic, and burn 2 now, the only DPS on the Wanda has to back up. As the ult by the Invisible Woman Cavico for Capital Tech helps her team lead the way. And nice job there by Capital Tech as they will cap it with 4 minutes and 45 seconds to go. 1/3 of the way there on Spider Islands. Post University has to get a defense going here. As in the backline is in trouble. Again, Rekonic getting picked out by the Angela. This is a very tough composition to deal with. 3 tanks. Assuming that the Deadpool does go into tank form, I guess we'll call it, since he can play multiple different roles. TXT not invisible as the Loki there and does get picked out. Frosty.wrld has ult in hand but also falling. Cypher Chan finds the pick on to Frosty, and now Post University will have to regroup. Polytech is pushed up and has ultimates in hand. Ssjlion finding the pick onto the Wanda player. Burn 2 for Post University. And now it is almost as if the sides have swapped here, and that Capital Tech are now playing defense, and Post University is playing offense, just trying to get back to the convoy. And big picks coming in from Jay the Hooligan here on the Angela. The chaos goes off from burn 2, but not able to find its mark. And another pick in the backline. Jay the Hooligan absolutely popping off on the Angela right now, finding multiple picks and putting Post University back in their spawn. Out comes Frosty on the Invisible Woman. Gonna have to just use the ult for the stall there. A valiant effort by Frosty to keep the fight going. Bleed some more time off the clock. Out comes the other Invisible Woman ult to counter. Post University now trying to fight on the point and delay more time from Capital Tech here, but they have already hit the checkpoint with 4 minutes and 8 seconds to go. 2/3 of the way there on Spider Island's convoy. If you're just joining us, it has been all of this Chargers team at the moment. Excellent Marvel Rivals playing so far by them. Post University being put in tight spots because of this triple tank play, getting pushed in the backline and not able to recover. Ssjlion finding another pick on Post University's healers on the backline. Don't mean to have the caster's curse there the minute I talk about it. Unfortunately, another Post University player falls. But out comes TXT with the Cloak and Dagger ult, trying to support these Eagles here as they try to protect their home nest now. As Capital Tech, multiple ults in the pockets. Now comes the Deadpool ult. Getting aggressive is Wolf 2K14. Big ult there, at least on the stun from Rekonic. Didn't find a pick, but at least stopped the Deadpool ult from doing more damage. Post University still falling, though. Cavico with 2 picks on the Invisible Woman. Ssjlion not in the best of spots. No healers in sight. 2 minutes and 34 seconds on the clock. Capital Tech is getting very close to capping this. Post University trying to come out for the stall. They have to use the Invisible Woman ult just to get there through the spawn, and unfortunately they cannot get to the point. 3-0 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock for the Chargers. And the Eagles now are up against a very steep time and are going to have to move very quickly here on this offense if they want to tie or do better here on Spider Island's Convoy, map 2 of this best of 5 ECAC Week 5 matchup. If you're just joining us now, I will remind you that Capital Tech has not dropped a map yet this season. ECAC season, excuse me. So Post University going to have to look for a good composition here that can perhaps stall the Chargers. as they could not do it on defense. I was talking about it before, as the Chargers were pushing up so aggressively on the Eagles there that it's almost as if the sides had swapped, that every time the Eagles would come out of their spawn, it was like the Chargers were playing defense on their convoy push rather than the other way around. So if the Eagles can find a way to do that and play so aggressively that they can get the picks and get that convoy moving so that they can play the choke points of the spawn as well, that is probably the go-to strategy right now if you're the Eagles. Well, let's see if they execute it. Because right out of the gate, it is the Angela and the Rogue and the Deadpool. Very annoying combo to deal with. Extremely good composition on defense. And it is Rekonic getting pinned into danger by the Angela. Down goes Rekonic. No Rocket Raccoon for the revive. Post University down a tank early. TXT taking damage. Both healers have to focus on each other for Post University, as there is so much chaos going on in the backline for the Eagles right now that it's hard to get a push going, because every time the tanks have to turn around and deal with it or else their healers get eliminated. And there it goes again, the caster's curse. Unfortunately, as I say that, that's exactly how that team fight goes down there. And it is the Chargers, the Capital Tech University Chargers, that are in control of this convoy early here on Spider Island's defense. Post University coming out again. No ults in the bank so far. Still building percentage-wise. As a Ssjlion, nice pick there onto the Rogue. Celestia goes down, and Post University now able to get out of the gates here. Pinned in by the Angela here. Nice pin in. And down goes the Cloak and Dagger for Post University. Supported by Frosty, though, picking the Angela and the ult as well from Frosty there. Burn 2, finding a couple on the Jeff. Nice job by the Shark player there. Burn 2, healer player, Shark as well. As Post University gets this convoy moving, they were stalled a little bit for about a team fight or so. Ssjlion getting aggressive on the thing here. Ult in hand here, getting ready to use it, I'm assuming. As out came the Rogue ult in the back line. The Chargers very much like to target the back line of Post University, but they may have focused on them too much, as Burn 2 and Rekonic find a pick on the Doctor Strange. Here comes the ult from Rekonic onto the back line, pinned away from his own ult by the Angela player, JJ the Hooligan. Cloak and Dagger all out for the Eagles to support them as they push this convoy. Finding a pick is Rekonic. Getting picked in the back is Frosty.wrld by Jay the Hooligan. Getting pinned away. LimboSteppr finds another. And finding yet another pick is the LimboSteppr on the Magic. Nice job there. Now picking off what would be the Loki clones, as he assumes. And there's the Adam Warlock. Good pick there if he could go for him. But oh no, he advised to jump back down and just clear Loki clone. Smart play there. Clearing util and then going for the Adam Warlock. Putting a lot of pressure on to the Chargers backline right now is the LimboSteppr for the Eagles. Out comes the Jeff ult as well, being annoyed by the Deadpool, and out comes the Deadpool all of Wolf 2K14. The Chargers, this is a huge team fight. It has been going on for what seems hours now, but it has only been about 20 or 30 seconds. It is a unusual team fight here. Rekonic, only one with the ult in hand, and he's going to use it here, trying to at least get a pick. Does he find value from it? Oh, he had the Rogue right in front of him there, but did not get the pick, and unfortunately Burn 2 was right near the convoy, but didn't get the touch on it. And just like that, on Spider Island's convoy here, it is the Chargers finding another 3-0 victory, as Post University, almost in that team fight, was able to get to the first capture point. But yet again, Ssjlion taking that MVP, getting aggressive as the rogue, and causing a lot of chaos in Post University's backline. It is now CapTech U's map score of 2-0 in this best of 5 ECAC week number 5 Collegiate Marvel Rivals matchup between the Eagles and the Chargers. And here is your map score here with Ssjlion taking another MVP, 28 elims. Followed up by Jay the Hooligan with 29 elims. Another big tank duo. It's the tanks, the vanguards, I should say, leading the way for the Capital Tech University Chargers at the moment. Post University did go for the group ban, but it did not matter as the tanks and vanguard players right now for Capital Tech University are leading the way, are charging the way, I should say. So that is going to do it for the minute, and we will be back very shortly with map number 3. Can the Eagles stave off a 3-0 sweep in this week 5 ECAC best of 5 matchup? We'll be back to find out more after the break. Alrighty, igniting the time stream indeed. Here we go. ECAC week number 5. Map number 3. It is the Post-University Eagles versus the Chargers here. And can the Eagles come back from this 2-0 deficit right now? It has been all the Chargers right now. Here we go to our character pick and bans, per usual. And will it be per usual as far as these protect and bans, I should say. Elsa Bloodstone is the ban first for the Chargers, followed up by the Gambit ban for the Eagles. And the Thing protect by the Eagles as well. And Capital Tech will protect the Loki. Capital Tech is also continuing their streak at the moment of not dropping a map in the ECAC season so far. So will Post University be able to play spoiler to that? And also spoiler to the rest of this match? We will see. Here on Hell's Heaven Domination. Capital Tech vying for the Daredevil ban. Post University going for the Venom ban. Pretty standard stuff since we have seen this all this before so far. Nothing out of the ordinary. The Protect of the Rogue by Capital Tech. Emma Frost also being protected by the Eagles. And we will see what the last two bans are, and then it is off to Hell's Heaven. Oh, and there is the Moon Knight ban. Sorry, Rekonic, no Moon Knight this match, or this map, excuse me. And the Magneto ban for Post University. That wraps it up for our protects and bans. ECAC Week 5 matchup between Post University Eagles and the Capital Tech University Chargers. Map number 3 is about to start here. Can the Eagles stave off a 3-0 clean sweep in week 5 of this ECAC season? We will find out. Here we go. As here we are on Hell's Heaven Domination. Let's see what everyone is bringing to the party for this first point. Burn 2 on the Wolverine here. Ssjlion staying on the Thing. THELimboSteppr on the Jeff. TXT on the Cloak and Dagger once again. Frosty.wrld on the Invisible Woman, breaking it down at the moment, looking pretty groovy. Rekonic on the Strange once again. A lot of once agains here, as you can tell. Ssjlion on the Rogue. Everyone's partying already. DJ Raven on the Mantis. Wolf 2K has been on the Deadpool every single time so far. So here we go. Hell's Heaven Domination. Post University looking to stave off a clean sweep here and get on the board. Can they do it as they get on to this domination point early? On board here with Rekonic on the Doctor Strange. Vanguard versus Vanguard right now. As it was Rekonic versus Ssjlion. Still behind him is Rekonic. Had to watch out for his backside there as Ssjlion was still pursuing him. And Burn 2 on the Wolverine shut down. Both players from Post University shut down by the Groot walls there. Jay the Hooligan popping off on the Groot once again. As Post University did not ban him, and back he is on the Groot. And grabbing that first capture percentage is the Capital Tech University Chargers. Nice job to them. And more annoying Groot walls to deal with for the Eagles at the moment. Ssjlion not letting them stay up for long, though, as he's going to go in for a charge here. Taking a lot of damage, and then again separated from line of sight from his healers because of those Groot walls. Here, speaking of Groot, here comes more damage from the Groot player. Oh my. A triple kill from JJ the Hooligan on the Groot. Finding another for the quad kill is Ssjlion on the Rogue. And once again, it has been all Capital Tech University. Eagles now getting some alt percentages up to 100. They will have some alts in the bank for this fight to try to flip it. But they're going to have to be careful of their positioning due to this Groot and very aggressive Rogue play that has been... Oh, I guess I'll say it. A thorn. Get it, Groot wall? A thorn in their side? Oh, man, I know. I know. Ssjlion with a big ult there. Followed up to TXT on the other receiving end of that. Rekonic has strange ult in hand, but is taking a massive amount of damage right now. Gonna go up and use a big stun there from Rekonic. But swallowed up by his own Jeff player. THELimboSteppr gets picked off, which could have been some damage there. That may have been a little bit of a fumble. Unfortunately, there could have been some more damage and cleanup there from the Eagles on that big Doctor Strange stun follow-up. But Burn 2 finding some value in the backline on the Wolverine. Here we go. The Eagles now getting aggressive. Gotta find a way to deal with that Groot. And there is no one better, in my opinion, than the Wolverine, just continuously pinning him away and chunking his health. But THELimboSteppr on the Jeff getting eliminated. Down goes Ssjlion again. Berserker Rage coming in from the Wolverine, finding one on the Rogue. Big pick by Burn 2. But Post University is short on bodies right now on this point. 99% overtime. Capital Tech University needing only one more percentage. Post University now stepping off point. No one left on the point, and that will be the first point for the Chargers here. On Hell's Heaven domination, only needing one more domination point capture to make it a clean 3-0 sweep, and they have not dropped a single map point yet. That has been the story so far, and the Eagles, unfortunately, are stuck in quicksand against them at the moment. They're going to have to find a way to deal some massive damage to their backline. They're getting their picks in these team fights, but they're coming a little bit too late right after the Chargers have usually initiated in the team fight. It's been a repeating algorithm here I've been noticing within these team fights. Both tanks getting very aggressive and then usually one of them falling. And then the back line is just wide open. Capital Tech University finding the gaps. Post University going to have to close them and get a map at point of their own here to stave off this elimination and a 3-0 clean sweep. Here we go. Hell's Heaven domination. Map point number 2. On board with Rekonic of the Eagles on the Doctor Strange here. Doing some nice shield weaving at the moment. But unfortunately, TXT getting split up on the Cloak and Dagger. Out comes the two alts of the Vanguard duo that have been leading the way for Capital Tech University. Ssjlion, JJ, the Hooligan, the Groot, and the Rogue. Just absolutely using some crazy alt combos to lock Post University down. And the Chargers will take their first capture here on point number 2. Already at 20%. Eagles are going to have to find something and find it quickly. These Groot walls have been a pain in their side the entire game, and they're not going away. The strategy is going to have to change very quickly for the Eagles here. As once again, it is the Chargers finding all the picks in this team fight engagement, as the Post University Eagles do have ults in their hands now. They're going to have to use them very wisely and find some value here in this next team fight to turn the tide. DeadlyDrew on board here with the DeadlyDrew. Can he find some massive value from the Jeff ult here? Perhaps catch a couple of backline healers off guard. Out goes the strange ult from Rekonic, finding the Deadpool. A nice pick on the No, did not find the pick on the Deadpool. He was about 2% health there, but able to escape it was Wolf2K. And once again, I think it was the DeadlyDrew that swallowed him at 2% while being stunned by Rekonic's ult. Oh no, that was, I think, another fumble. Unfortunately, they could have had the pick there onto the Deadpool, and now it turns the other way for the Capital Tech University Chargers. My goodness, 92% as the Eagles almost had a team fight win there. But it just does not look to be for the Eagles today, as it looks like this streak for the Capital Tech University Chargers will continue. But a last desperation portal for Rekonic here. It's not over yet, as now in comes the Loki ult as well as Ssjlion on the Rogue, and it's just an overload now on point. TXT trying to hold for the team here, and no, it's not going to be enough, as that will do it. The Capital Tech University Chargers have defeated the Post University Eagles 3-0 in ECAC week number 5 Collegiate Marvel Rivals. It was a good game all around. Unfortunately for the Eagles, they could not find any values on those stuns by the Doctor Strange there. A couple of blunders maybe interrupted by other ults. But nonetheless, it is the Chargers with the clean 3-0 sweep. GG's to everyone, and good luck to the Eagles in their next match. And also good luck to the Chargers on the rest of their season so far. Have not dropped a map yet. Very, very interesting, and a very good-looking team. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of our stream. It was a very, very quick match. Props to the Chargers. That Vanguard duo, I want to say tank all the time, but that Vanguard duo really led the way for the Chargers there. And that was a very, very good display of just a full teamwork. A full teamwork conglomeration. There's the word. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching there. The Chargers take the 3-0 clean sweep on the Eagles, but they will be back as the Eagles do fall to a 1-4 ECAC season record. But all is not lost as the season still continues, and they will be back again next week. So GG's to everyone. Thank you everyone as well to watching this cast, and thank you to the Post University sister channel here, Post University 2, for allowing me to broadcast and stream these games for them tonight. I am very glad to do it and always happy to come in and stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, this is your Shoutcaster, DeadlyDrew, saying thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. Good night.